Welcome to Full Scope, a podcast designed to analyze the games that we love, headlines of music, and the movies we can't forget. I'm your host, Wendy Burns, on my counterpart, Savon Morris. How's it going, man?
Going pretty good, man. Get on social media, see Wellington's wives on going at it. I like it.
Everybody's like, man, I'm loving the video. Look, man, I learned it from Savon's Corner.
Ah,
Had to graduate to the next level. Well, we have a lot of topics to get into for this one. Obviously, some thoughts on the play-in tournament. NBA playoffs is coming up this Saturday. Also have some album reviews, some diss tracks, some Rick Ross. A lot of responses from people. But you start off with thoughts on Golden State's early exit and kind of the end of their dynasty. Sacramento won 118-94. Keegan Murray had 32 points and De'Aaron Fox added 24 points. Klay Thompson missed all 10 shots from the field. And it's really interesting because the discourse after the game from the big three was with Steph, Draymond, and Klay. They were talking about them wanting to keep it together, them still loving the competitiveness of trying to get to that next level. But Sacramento, this team, we even talked about it. This was not as good of a team they were last year. This was a completely different team in terms of, if you look at last year's series, you can make a case, oh, Sacramento should have won that. But this one was like, man, Sacramento is nowhere near as good as they were last year.
mm-mm.
And this feels like the end. This feels like the end for Golden State in terms of just like this current iteration of this big three. I really do think so, because I think we even saw Bob Myers leave early, and he was like, I don't think he wanted any part of like having to let one of these guys go. I mean,
Yeah.
between Klay and Draymond. To you, what did you kind of think about this loss for Golden State, and also the future for them?
Well, we talked about it all throughout the season. This might be the last run, and you talked about it on the Wellington's Y Zone and we talked about it on here on podcast that Steph Curry's prime years or after prime years are being ran up, and it's time to disband for sure. I'm on the Wellington Y Zone bandwagon. This loss just showed that they don't have enough in the tank. And it's just not Steph Curry, because you look at the numbers between when he was really in his prime 2015 and now, the numbers are not different. They're very strikingly similar. So we know it's not Steph Curry. It's his surrounding factors. Andrew Wiggins,
Yeah.
uh, Draymond Green. I never thought I would say this, but Klay Thompson, the supporting cast guys are not holding their weight. For you to be one of the best shooters and one of the best two-way players in the NBA, to go 0 for 10 in a playoff game, to must win. The proof is in the pudding, as the
It's
old,
right there.
yeah. So his value went down after that game. Obviously, you four-time champion, all these things, but you're not a guy I can build around. You're going to be a supporting cast guy. You're one of those uh, veteran guys now that we're
Yeah.
going to sit on the corner and let you shoot a little bit. We don't expect much from you. So, but that's another reason why I think he will stay, because he'll realize it's not much value out there for me. So I need to take a pay cut. I need to decrease my role, and then we can go from there. But I
They
don't see
could.
anybody.
I just want to say they actually could end up back all together again next year.
Right.
This actually could happen because of Klay being willing to take the pay cut.
Yeah, and I think that's the only way, because they already paid Draymond, so his contract is already set. Steph
Yeah.
Curry's already set. They got to move some pieces around, but in my opinion, in our opinion, we feel like they should disband. But I don't think they love playing with each other,
They
and
really do.
they're so in tune and have that humility to say, "Hey,
Yeah.
I'll take this pay cut. I'll do this to stay with this. I want to retire as a Warrior," which is fine and dandy. But if you guys don't make the other moves with his supporting cast, you got to ship Andrew Wiggins out. You got to get Kuminga out, get some pieces for him. You're
Yes.
gonna have to start from scratch if you're gonna go around and keep the same three guys that you built this dynasty with. You're gonna have to shop around and get some other players,
Oh, for
or
sure.
get lucky in a draft or something. So yeah, Klay. Mm,
That was a rough one, man. That was a rough one to see.
absolutely.
Just and my mind goes back to, I'm not gonna reiterate the past days as much, but that 2016 OKC Game 6, where I was just like, this guy couldn't miss. Like, they were having to pour water on him. Like, man, this is a flamethrower, and now it's just like, can't even make a shot. Like, that's just really the progression, and iteration of an NBA run. That really
Yeah.
is. That's just how it happens. I did mention earlier on the Y Zone special court. I didn't mention it though, but like Bulls, Lakers, Celtics, it all ended in a way where they didn't want it to end in a certain way. Like the Bulls, they never expected to disband the way they did. The Lakers, even the Heat, like after they got blown out by the Spurs, it's like, all right, I was back in Cleveland. Like
Yeah.
we just gotta, we're getting older. So, man, that's so crazy to say. It's still. I know it happened, but it's just still like I didn't expect them to lose that early in the play-in tournament. So,
Mm, 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 mm. I
and now,
guess Perkins was right.
oh, yeah, that's what Big Perk. Big Perk was right. And now moving on to the Lakers and Pelicans play-in tournament game. LA won 110 to 106, clinching a playoff spot in the seventh seed. Zion Williamson left in the last few minutes of the game after having 40 points and 11 rebounds. And man, when Zion was in there, one of the best Zion games I've
Absolutely.
ever seen. Like
Absolutely.
crazy.
Absolutely.
Absolutely just a force the entire game, man. And what he was doing, I was telling a lot of people like when I was watching it, I was saying like if he hadn't gone out, I think they would have won it. I think the Pelicans would have won it, man. I really think they would have. And because AD didn't have that great of a game. A lot of supporting players weren't playing. Now Rui Hachimura was playing well. Austin Reeves was, but I was like, it came down to the wire in a sense. And then when Zion left, it just was like, okay, LA's got it. But to you, what did you think about this win for the Lakers? And I think heading into this Nuggets series, because they say we want all the smoke, we want the Nuggets, we want our lick back. And now they got it in the first round. What are your thoughts?
That's a hot take. I think even with Zion, I think they still would have lost. It's in the stars, man, for the Lakers to meet the Denver Nuggets. It was
This
in
is
the
destiny.
stars,
This was
man.
destiny.
Yeah, it was definitely destiny. But first and foremost, this is the Zion Williamson. Everybody, not just a specific group of. I mean, everybody has been waiting for this
Oh, for sure.
Zion to step up and to show why he was so tough, why there were so media was on him heavy, and he showed glimpse, and then it's injury. There's something that's following him in his career that's hovering over him that won't let him be great. I don't know what it is, but this offseason, he got to shake that off and give us that same Zion Williamson we saw. To bounce back, to play them and get literally beat by 20 points and come back and to lose by 4 points for a play-in tournament, that's an extreme adjustment for not just Zion, for that whole squad. But I mean, it's gonna be interesting for this for the Lakers.
I want to talk about this. See, and I do want to say this with this Lakers Nuggets series. Just to add context, if you
Yeah.
look at that last Western Conference Finals in the sweep, every game was
Mhm.
close. Like
Yeah.
every game was close, and I don't think it's going to be the blowout that people are expecting because
Absolutely
I
not.
think the Lakers actually match up well with the Nuggets. I like the Nuggets for sure, but I think this is the first series. We got to look back at it. This is the first series LeBron's playing with house money. Nobody is picking his team to win, and they're like, oh, LeBron can play a lot looser. If you think about the psychology of a LeBron series, it's like, okay,
Hmm.
is there pressure? What's the pressure? Because obviously he can handle pressure. But I'm saying
Yeah.
this is the first one I think in a long time where he does not really have that many people expecting him to win.
No, that's a good point. That's a good point. And to add to that point, is just one, they have a chip on their shoulder. Two, they can go all out this series. I mean, last year they had to go through. They had to go through the Warriors. They had to go through. I think the Heat, if I'm not mistaken, they had to
Yes.
get. They had to go through a lot to get to get to the Denver Nuggets, and Denver Nuggets really just coasted that entire playoffs. So now they get to go head up. I think D Russ is playing, but I think he's going to be the deciding factor. I think last postseason he averaged 3 or 4 points.
Yeah.
If he can average that 16, 17 points, I think he's a difference maker. Like you said, I think they match up pretty well with him. And then I think LeBron James that will say, okay, there's not that much pressure on me, really. And then it's just set up for them to go for distance. He has a player option. D Russ has a player option this summer. There are a couple other guys who is going to move around. This is the opportunity. We don't know if LeBron's going to stay with the Lakers or not. What he's going to do, is he going to play another year and then get out? So there's a lot of implications for him. in this Lakers team, I think it's they can go all out. Because after that, I don't see them like, well, okay, see,
Yeah,
but
I'm
it's
saying.
I love the Lakers playing Denver Nuggets right off, and then Murray is still not 100% healthy. He's still playing, but he's not 100% healthy, so we got to watch that. But I think this is going to be a good series. It's going to go to 7 games. I got the Lakers. 7 games, bro.
I love Savon's corner is coming out the gates hot. I
Seven
was about to
games.
ask you, and then you start saying it. I was like, when he said how the series is gonna go, like to 7, I was like, hey, he's gonna beat the Lakers. There's no way he's gonna beat the Nuggets. I got the Nuggets in 6. I'm going with the Nuggets in
You got the
6.
Nuggets. Okay, that's not a bad. That's not bad. You did put some respect on the Lakers name.
I got to. Oh yeah, because some
Yeah.
people are saying like 4 sweep or 5. I'm like, no, that's not happening.
Nah,
I don't see that
absolutely
happening.
not. No,
You know,
LeBron James has never been taken out the first round of the playoffs.
man, this is gonna be a good series. I'm looking forward to
Yeah,
this one. Um,
absolutely.
And now getting to Philly's comeback win versus Miami, the 76ers won 105 to 104 after trailing by 14 in the second half. Nicholas Batum had huge 3 pointers in the second half, and Buddy Hield contributed as well. And obviously, the big storyline of that game was Jimmy Butler going out. Not actually going out; he stayed in the game, but afterwards, it's revealed that had the MCL injury, and that's that's huge when you look at the impact that Jimmy Butler has for Miami because you know playoff Jimmy, that was the mantra. That's been the mantra ever since he's been in the postseason, making
Yeah.
deep runs. And now that they're without him, playing Chicago. Are they beating Chicago currently, or is it still
Ooh, it doesn't show me.
63-51? Okay, they're winning and they're winning the third. So if they beat Chicago, they'll play Boston. But to you, looking at that Philly win and another interesting first round matchup going against the Knicks, which I think is the Knicks still look really good to me. What are your kind of your overall thoughts on that Philly win?
Whew. Joel Embiid's back.
Yeah, he's back, man.
Maxi's playing phenomenal. That's it.
Yeah, that's kind of what you need. That's
And
kind of the Sixers recipe.
we talked about this. If they can hold on until Embiid gets back, they're gonna make a run. And they just got a blessing. They're playing the Knicks. Julius Randle is not going to be able to play. He's not going to be able to hold Embiid. Who on the? I like Rick Mitchell Robinson, hometown kid. He's not going to do anything with Joel Embiid. It's so many mismatches in there. I think they can handle Jalen Brunson. Jalen Brunson is not going to beat them. Not in 7 games. They're going to have to
Really?
worry about Joel Embiid. I don't think he can beat them by themselves. They're coming off a high, bro. Nobody
Yeah.
expected him to get to this point without Joel Embiid because he was playing lights out before he got hurt. And then he came back. Maxi stepped up. That was my biggest. I was like, he has to step up. Tobias Harris is whatever. He's just
Yeah,
in the motions. But who's going to check Joel Embiid?
for sure. That's the
I'm not
biggest. Yeah,
confident in the Knicks. I'm not confident in their bench. The only player, and I'm not confident in Josh Hart's shooting ability from behind the arc anymore. Jalen Brunson's the only guy. We talked about Julius Randle being there. They have an opportunity. He's not there. I don't have no confidence in anybody else. I don't think Jalen Brunson can beat the Philly in 7 games. I just don't have the confidence. You look like you have the
Knicks,
confidence,
I
but
believe
hey,
in you. Sorry, Knicks. I got Knicks in 7. I believe in this Knicks team, man. I believe in
absolutely
this Knicks
not,
team,
bro.
and I'm so glad me and Savon are like disagreeing with playoff picks. It's always interesting to see like who's right and who's wrong after the first round of the playoffs.
Yeah,
I got the Knicks in
Lonzo
7, man.
versus Savon's
We got to
corner.
do it right. This is the
I
first
didn't
year
choose
that
this. I didn't choose Savon's quarter, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. It was gifted to me by a good
somebody
friend named Wellington.
people are like, did you come up with that on your?
Absolutely. Yeah, because when you first said, I was like, what? Savon's what?
But I do think that's a great point that you mentioned though, because Joel Embiid, the impact that he's going to have in this series is going to be like the biggest, the biggest X factor, honestly, because he just has the type of the ability to take over an entire playoff game, and I think he's going to have some great performances. But I got some questions in terms of like when he's a big like him coming back off of an injury, it's like, is he still going to be that Joel Embiid like that we're used to, or is there going to be some games where he's like a little, a little winded? I think he's going to have a couple games where he's just like 40 plus, like okay, Embiid's dominant. But I think over time the Knicks are going to be like, all right, when Embiid's not clicking, Maxi's going to have to show that he can be that guy. Tobias Harris, who we know is inconsistent. Tobias Harris is very inconsistent, and he can have some cold games. So I think that
Mhm.
the Knicks know that if it's not Embiid, which is a big if, and Maxi's doing what he's doing, somebody else has to click as well. So I
Bro,
think
who on the Knicks is scary besides Jalen Brunson?
you don't think OG Anunoby is going to have an impact as well for the Knicks.
No,
I mean, he's
because he's gonna have to hold. He's gonna be him and Isaiah, whatever his name. They're gonna have to switch swap on Joel Embiid.
that's
They're
true.
gonna be gassed.
So you're kind of betting on them being winded, and that's what's going to like completely wear them
They
down.
don't shoot well, bro.
That's true.
They don't like. I'm not going big like I hate the Knicks. It's just without
Looking
Julius
at the
Randle.
numbers, yeah. You would have picked the Knicks if Julius Randle was here.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he would.
Absolutely. Because he can bang with Joel Embiid.
Oh
And they'll
yes,
be going back and forth.
yes,
And then now Mitchell Robinson can worry about rebounding.
yes.
So the roles kind of change. Because if you put Mitch on him, he's going to take him out. He's going to be either, 19, 20 feet away. He's not going to be effective at a rebound, which Mitchell Robinson is a great rebounder and a blocker. So you take him out of the paint.
Yes.
He's not effective. So it's just that's what I'm looking at. And then Jalen, the only player I'm confident is Jalen Brunson, who showed that he can do those things. But yeah, I don't have them winning. It's gonna be a tight series. I'm not saying they're gonna get blown out or swept or anything. It's gonna be a tight series, but I just don't think they make it out alive.
So you would say like Sixers and 6, 6.
I don't know just yet. Because now Joel Embiid is questionable for game one. So
that's what I'm saying. Wellington's
no, it's not. He's questionable because he's hurt. They're trying to recover.
That's what you have to think about that though, because when it's just like when you got a player coming back in, if this is the Joel Embiid that we saw at the beginning of the season, and it's like there's no doubt about him being who he is, but the fact that when you're coming off of an injury though, you got to think, especially for a big, there's going to be some games where they're like, okay, how is he actually going to fully be? We see with Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis is like, if one time he goes down, the whole world is just like, the whole LA world is like, what's going to happen? So that's kind of the X factor. But as we've said, Joel Embiid, he's going to be the biggest impact player in this series without a doubt. And Jalen Brunson is going to do what Jalen Brunson's going to do. I got trust in the Villanova guys. I got trust in the Villanova guys. With Donte DiVincenzo.
Yeah,
you don't even like Donte DiVincenzo.
I don't.
And now moving on to our most intriguing first round matchup, Clippers Mavericks. Man, I think it's going to be blockbuster. I think that series clear. I think that series is going to be a blockbuster series, man. Because when we look at Kyrie and Luka just clicking on all cylinders, and then the Clippers this might be the most talented Clippers team we've ever seen. Now, what that actually means, though, we know on paper. This is an on paper Clippers team for sure. But I think this is going to go fully 7. I'm going to go with the Clippers because I do think this team can. When they're offensively, I think they have so many options. And sometimes the Mavericks, like we say, defensively, it's like, okay, what are the Mavericks going to show? They improve defensively in the regular season, but the postseason, that's a completely different zone. Because they at some point in the season have given up a lot of points. I think that might continue for this one. But to you, like, what's your most intriguing first round matchup?
We already talked about
the
it.
Lakers Nuggets, right?
Nuggets and the Lakers. That's the most intriguing one. We got the 80 response before the season started. They've been beat twice in the postseason by the Nuggets. LeBron James is going against LeBron James. The Nuggets is still one of the favorites, even with OKC being the number one seed. Like, there's so much there that you just can't take your eyes off of.
Ladies and gentlemen,
you gotta be.
This is the Serbian barbecue chicken deluxe. You got some coleslaw on the side. You got some baked beans. You got some 2 butter rolls and got some sweet tea. And this is gonna be one of those like just complete entrees. This is gonna be a complete entree from game 1 to game whatever. Y'all don't need to miss one game of this. Even if you're at work, just slip it on the stream it. Sling YouTube TV. Just stream. Stream. I was like, what you looking at? I'm just trying to tie my shoes. Any answer? Nuggets, Lakers. Man, that's a great pick. That's a great pick, bro.
Oh my
Because
goodness,
I'm gonna
man.
tell you another thing. Mike Malone. I will never forget how angry he was after LeBron stole the thunder after that series. He said, "Man, LeBron just made it about himself." Because he said after the game, like, "I don't know if I'm gonna come back, man. Like, this might be, I don't know how many years I'm gonna play." And everybody stopped talking about the Nuggets winning and just said, Is this LeBron's last year?" LeBron can like change the projection of what's
Yeah,
talked about post game so quickly. And the Nuggets were so they're like, ain't no way you're still making it about you after we just swept you in the Western Conference Finals. But that's the power of LeBron.
but that's I love you say that. He didn't make it about himself. He's
It's just
just
LeBron,
saying the
though.
truth. The
Yeah,
media made
yeah. They're
it
like,
about
oh,
because that's the media.
yeah. The media is gonna media, man. The
Oh,
media,
for sure. If anything's for certain, for sure. Media is gonna media.
definitely. Another thing though, we always do is kind of like talk about which player has the most to prove in the postseason. And I think as clear as it is, night and day, Jason Tatum. To me, it's Jason Tatum, man. This is the playoff. I think Jason Tatum really has to show he's that guy.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, yeah.
I think he has to. I think we've seen so many years Eastern Conference Finals, made a Finals appearance, 2022. Had the 2-1 lead, blew it. But I think this one is like, if you're gonna win it, this is the year to win it. And he really has to be in a takeover mode. I think from the jump, and especially when you got a crippled, not fully healthy Miami team that has given them fits. I think they gotta just from the jump show they are the number one top dog in the East. Like to you, which player do you think has the most improved this postseason?
Mm. It's definitely Jason Tatum. And then I think Shea,
Ooh, I can't wait to see what he
number
does.
one seed. Uh, Shannon Sharp said they were the worst number one seed. Well, I thought it was bonkers when he said that. But people don't think they belong there, even though they worked their butt off to get there. I think Shea has the most improved. Like we belong here. We don't care if we have the Pelicans or the Kings. We're gonna handle
So
business, and we're gonna get to the conference championship. We're gonna get there, and I think they can. They have every indication to get there. They have the bench. They have the young players. They play great, and then Shea is the guy. I think they need to put some respect on his name, and I think this is his opportunity to solidify. Hey,
yeah,
who's going to be the face of the NBA when LeBron goes? There's a lot of people. We talked about Anthony Edwards. I think Shea can be able to do that. I don't think Luke can be the face of it because he's not a two-way player. But there are guys out here who can be the face of the NBA. He's one of those guys. Let's stamp that now because we're gonna need new blood. And then obviously John Moran is another guy who can be the face of the NBA. But he has that to prove. I think if he proves himself, he gets to the conference championship. I think people would be like, okay, they belong here. They should have been in the number one seed. They deserve that.
oh for sure, man. I think OKC has. They're so motivated. They hear the chatter because these guys all keep up with different clips and different shows that talk about them on a regular basis, and I think they know that it's like, man, this is everyone is saying that, oh, they're not that good of a one seed. They haven't been there before. But I want to say this: the one team that made the NBA Finals that had an average age of 25 was the 74 Trailblazers. So it shows you how hard it is to like make a deep run when you're that young. But this team, I think, is like you said, they might be the new Warriors.
Mm-hmm.
In a few years, we might look back at this like, oh, this was the start of something. So I definitely
Yeah.
think that they're that team that is going to be motivated. Um, and now getting to kind of the WNBA draft takeaways, it's interesting because each headline kind of has a different in terms of the duo. The duo has kind of been the center of things with Camila Cardoso and Angela Reese. And Angela Reese being in Chicago now, Caitlin Clark and Aaliyah Boston in Indiana, then finally Cameron Brink and Rukia Jackson in Los Angeles. Is there any particular duo newly formed for the WNBA that you think like might be kind of like the most formidable? Because I know Andrew Reese said she feels as though a lot of people are going to really struggle out rebounding them or even trying to be dominant in the paint because of the formula now that Chicago has.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think that is and I was intrigued by they got both of them.
Yes.
Because they're similar players. obviously. I do think Camilla has a better bag, not too much from, but maybe we see Angel Reese released a little bit and get out to the wing or something. Maybe she could play the three instead of playing, the four or the five. Maybe they'll switch up some roles and having both of them on this court. One of them going to have to. I don't want them 4 and 5. One of them going to have to play the three. One's going to have to play the wing and kind of develop their game a little more. But I do think I like that duo out of all of them. Obviously, we know Caitlin Clark was going to go number one to the Fever, and
Yes.
everybody, jerseys are already sold out for her. But that's the best duo because those two have been playing against each other since high school. It wasn't really bad blood, but just competitive nature throughout. March Madness, throughout all these things. So for them to be teammates and kind of bury the hatchet, like it's outside of basketball. We're good, and I think that's why I think it was like, yeah, I'm pretty sure they really talked to both of them. Be
Oh
like,
yeah.
we're not just gonna
You want to
draft
do
both of
this?
these if you
Yeah.
guys have, yeah, yeah, yeah. But I do think they're the best duo because they're gonna rebound, they're gonna play good defense, they're gonna pick and roll is gonna be good. But I want them to develop more of creating their own shot to be able to be not just good in the WNBA, but great.
Dominant
Because that's the difference between there.
for sure. Well, look, we had mentioned it last episode. I mentioned to you the Jontay Porter thing and how that was going. Lifetime ban, lifetime ban, man. It wasn't just one of the, and they should have
Absolutely.
because that is just one of the dumbest moves I have ever seen an NBA player make, bro. Like, what in the world did you? The trail of it. I mean, you got you got the FBI involved, the U.S. Department of Justice, and like it's bro, a paper trail on you, like, and you just didn't think it was gonna come out. Like that's insane.
Feel like you're sick to not play,
Agreed.
as well.
Of all injuries, an eye injury. Like,
Yeah,
what
great
injury did you
call.
have yesterday? Oh, man, it's eye, bro. It's eye. It's killing
Yeah,
me.
man. I think it's peak eye.
Man, one of the
Terrible.
wildest. Yeah, one of the wildest stories. I mean, there's really nothing much to say about. He's caught. The world knows now.
He just, but he just made history. It's
He
not that
did.
many people that are life banned
Lifetime ban.
from the NBA,
Yeah.
and he made them. He always will be, hey, bro, ain't you the guy that got?
Shane guy after he leaves a
Yeah, he
game.
goes
Wait,
to the
aren't you
barber
that
shop.
guy?
Hey,
Man,
did
that's rough,
you
bro.
bet on yourself? I guess. Hey, but you gotta bet on yourself, bro.
You
That's what
got
they used to tell us.
to.
That's what they used to tell us, man. Bet on yourself. Don't wait for nobody to. Nah, that's the wrong bet
That's
on
the wrong.
yourself, buddy.
That's not the Fred Van Vliet betting yourself. We're gonna take a quick break and we'll be right back.